Hello, welcome to my hangout. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining me. This is an adult coloring channel intended to help relieve stress and anxiety in adults. This channel is not intended for children. Additional disclaimer. I am a laryngectomy survivor and have to use a type-to-speech program as my voice. And I also have a 17-year-old cat that may choose to make a cameo appearance if he is in the mood. Tonight I will be continuing with part 3 of The Office in Magleil Castle. So part 1 was the base boards and trim done with polychromos. Then this past Tuesday, I colored the doors and the table for part 2, which I didn't upload until Saturday evening. It should be available online early Sunday morning. Unfortunately, at the time of recording, I was too exhausted to multitask or be chatty. I did try doing a voiceover, but that came out muffled. And when it comes to adding music, most times the length of track may cover 1/3 or half the video if lucky. I did finally come across something in the YouTube editor that matched the length of the video. I am recording a little after 3:30 a.m. on Saturday night. And this video will probably be done in a few parts, then edited together before uploading it on Tuesday. Tonight let's start on the drapes. I will be using the Shepherd Farben pencils. Deep Ocean 465 for the shading. Cocalitos Water 473. Summer Sky 450. And Waimanalo Beach 463. I will probably also use one of my Sakura Jelly rolls for embellishment. How are you doing? How was your week? What have you been coloring? Please let me know in the comments below. To everyone that has been joining in both my color alongs for the year, thank you for so many beautiful posts. So both color alongs are for the entire year. The hashtags and details are in the description box. I will be getting a new laptop next month with a larger hard drive. And like a few other color tubers, I would like to upload a colored by you video each month. So I will be looking into the how-to of it, and hopefully if all goes well, I will start that up in late June. At the end of the month I also want to do a video of my completed page for the month along with whips I plan to complete during the next month. So my week has been busy and exhausting. Monday I went for my PET CT scan. Usually because I have an IV port. I am scheduled prior to the scan to have the IV port accessed. For some reason they forgot that part and ended up being a little bit of confusion. Long story short, I ended up doing the scan without accessing the port. After the scan, instead of taking the bus directly home, I decided to walk over to the nearest QFC and treat myself to coconut cream pie. I decided on getting 2 different brands. I mostly rested for the rest of the day along with Tuesday, which included extra naps. So Wednesday was labs and consulting with my oncologist. She verifies that everything came back good again. Since I have been maintaining remission, she okayed it for my IV port to be removed, which will be on the 28th of this month. And she also scheduled the next PET scan and labs a year out instead of 6 months. Meanwhile, I have to follow up with the head and neck surgeon every 3 months unless told otherwise. So the rest of the week was mostly stay home doing a little coloring while watching YouTube or something on one of the other streaming sites, which for me is usually Netflix, IMDb or the CW. Friday I did a little ASL practice with my daughter using Google Duo. We agreed to have video ASL practice 3 times a week, which is good for me, considering I have been slacking on that and keeping up with my bullet journal. It's like I start out the first 2 or 3 days okay, and then by the end of the week barely anything is logged in. Oh well, that is the beauty of starting a new week. You can revamp and start over again. So I am still seeing my mental health providers, using a video chat platform, which I am glad has the option allowing me to type for chat. Currently the apartments in my building are all getting their appliances and faucets upgraded to energy-saving items, and this week they started on my floor. Considering I am consulting with my mental health providers at home using the video chat, I am trying to avoid compromising privacy and get a better idea when the contractors will be doing my apartment. Okay, considering I am getting into bullet journaling, and I often use my printer for printing PDF or copies of my favorite coloring pages, I figured I would check out the subscribe and save options for office supplies on Amazon. I found a few different types of printer paper including cardstock, along with sheet protectors, spiral notebooks, and basic pens. I also found packs of correction tape and bulldog clips. What I was surprised to find in the subscribe and save were the Sakura Jelly Roll pens. Can you imagine being able to either replace or build up your supply of these beauties every so often on a regular basis? I originally ordered the 6-pack of Stardust, which came in with my big Atlantis pens, correction tape, and bulldog pens on Wednesday. I have all my paper-related items coming in on June 4th, and after that everything will be arriving together every 2 months starting in August. I like that I have the option on the Sakura Jelly Rolls to get a different type, so next one I am getting the 16-count cube. I forget if it's Stardust or Moondust line. So do you like to sparkle and glitter up your coloring pages? For those that do, what do you like using? Please let me know in the comments below. Until recently I have never used the Sakura Jelly Rolls before. I also want to try the Pental Sparkle Pops. So far the only glitter gel pens I have tried are the Link Metallic, the Chromatech and Tan Mitt. Even though the last two are refillable, I prefer the Tan Mitt since its refill cartridges are labeled. Bad part is the refills only come with the pens and not sold separately. I am considering trying the Colorit glitter gel pens next time. So one of the things I am finding about using a type-to-speech or TTS program is that if not careful it is so easy to make many errors, especially due to spelling. I have had to edit this 3 times so far. At present Shadow is waiting on the bottom shelf of the bookcase. He was recently protesting that I am taking too long to get back to sleep. So as soon as I get this last layer done on this part, I am going to pause here for some fur baby time. Okay, I'm back, and it is now early Tuesday evening. I know I took a long pause, but needed to catch up on a few things and haven't been able to get back until just now. Plus a few small sets of colored pencils that I ordered from the Blick website came in today, which I'll talk about in a few, but first I want to continue where I left off on our page, starting with the drape on my left. So I am currently having an organic peachy green tea latte with sugar and a little French vanilla creamer. Earlier I had a chocolate protein smoothie with frozen berries and peaches. Recently I have been able to eat more foods that I couldn't for about 2 years due to healing from the surgery, radiation, and chemo. And as much as I am most of the time enjoying burgers, French toast, or waffles with either pears or ice cream, Sometimes my throat just gets a little sore from working the remaining throat muscles I have, and sometimes it just needs something cool, soothing and easy to swallow. Unfortunately, a few foods like leafy greens, most hard fruits and some meats will probably never make the okay list. Which now means I now have to change my original death row meal to something else. It used to be pork chops, turip greens along with sweet potatoes, mash, and gravy. What would your favorite death row meal be? Let me know below in the comments, please. So I had mentioned having a scan and tests done last week, and all did come back good. However, it seems that numbers for my thyroid levels are a little under the low side of the normal range. That does explain my feeling a bit tired lately, which I did leave a message about with my doctor, as well as inquiring whether the dose on my thyroid medicine should maybe be raised a little. Outside of that and gaining back the weight from almost 3 years ago when I became sick, unfortunately with a little interest, I actually feel pretty good, and I even got the okay to have the IV port removed this Thursday the 28th. So enough about food tests and meds. Let's talk about colored pencils. Tell me please, in the comments below. How do you store your colored pencils? Do you store them by brand or by color? Do you keep them in some type of pencil case, or do you use other types of containers? So until recently my colored pencil sets consisted of a full set of Prismacolors, along with a 60 count of polychromes and a smaller set of the Blick Studio pencils. Mind you, there are a number of budget-friendly sets of colored pencils that I enjoy using. I just kind of appreciate that even though they cost a little more, many of the artist brands are also available open stock. Which means I don't have to buy a whole set just to replace a few pencils. So earlier in the month, I was financially able to invest in building up my colored pencils inventory. Now I have always wanted to try out a few of the other artist brand pencils, so I decided to get small 12 count tins of the Pablos, the Polycolors, and the Derwent Studio pencils. This way I figure for each set, I got plenty of basic colors to play with, and I can just build up most likely a few pencils at a time, considering I am also still trying to build up my Polychromos and Blick Studio pencils. I know that is going to take a little bit of time to build all those up, so at the same time that I ordered those, I ordered full sets of 4 different budget-friendly colored pencils. So I have always stored my pencils in color order by brand, and usually the slotted pencil cases or wraps. For some reason though, I wanted to try out storing all my budget brands together by color family, while I continue to store the others by brand, and so I got a couple of these compact 3-drawer storage for my table for my budget-friendly pencils. That idea lasted about a week. Only problem is that I currently don't have enough cases for all my pencil sets. So right now I am keeping the budget-friendly pencils in those 3-drawer storage units by brand, and the recent artist pencil sets are in pencil pouches while I build up my pencil case stash. Fortunately, when I checked the subscribe and save options on Amazon, there were a few options for slotted pencil cases with the multiple zippers, so I will be getting one every 2 months until I have enough. Sorry, I just wanted to finish up this part first. So pretty much for the remainder of the year, I'll be concentrating on building up my colored pencil sets, along with my glitter gel pens. I have been considering switching from budget alcohol markers to either the Blick Studio or the Arteza Everblend markers because their markers are sold open stock and not refillable like Copic or Spectrum Noir. I am not crazy about refilling the markers, but when I buy new sets of budget markers, I still have a lot of browns, grays left from the last set. As for coloring books, I think I have plenty for now. And want to complete at least 1 or 2 before I start buying more coloring books. Also, I am subscribed to Coloring Heaven magazine and their Discovery Club, along with Hannah Lynn's Patreon Gold tier, which includes my choice of one of her books in PDF format each month. So going slightly off tangent a moment. Yesterday I started a new week in my bullet journal, and even though it's only the second day, I have been keeping up with marking things in my timeline, and in my to-do list. I also decided to add one of Hannah Lynn's journal pages from her Patreon at the beginning of the week, along with one coloring page to that week in the bullet journal. Since I am also in Hannah Lynn's whimsical coloring group, most likely the weekly coloring page will be from their weekly color along, providing that I have the book. Otherwise I may choose something else for the week. Also, I subscribed to Selena Fench newsletter, and found out that she had some of her 2020 PDF calendars and calendar sets on sale. So starting June each month we'll have a cute faderable calendar to color and use for that month's appointments, in addition to my usual weekly setup. Let's see what else is going on. So most of my TV shows are on break or just did their season finale last week. And a few of the summer shows are starting up their new season. Plus it seems there will be a few new shows being added to the CW lineup. During the last season of Arrow, one of the episodes was a pilot for a spin-off, The Green Arrow and the Canaries. But I have yet to see any info on if it is being added to the CW lineup, and if so, when. I recently started Netflix back up, so I am catching up on a few shows and movies. My mood seems to swing from crime dramas to paranormal to rom-coms. I found a few of the older shows are streaming on the IMDb site for free, so I tend to watch them also. I also listen to my audiobooks, usually about a few chapters at a time. Right now I am following the Nocturne Falls Universe series, which is kind of a spin-off of the original Nocturne Falls series written by Kristen Painter. And even though it pretty much follows the theme and uses many of the original characters, there are various authors writing these stories. A few other series that I've enjoyed following are Jane Frost, which is also written by Kristen Painter and a spin-off of Nocturne Falls. The Secret, Book and Scone Society by Ellery Adams, and Accidentally Paranormal by Dakota Cassidy. I follow mostly paranormal romances and cozy mysteries, although there are a few young adult series that seem to have my interest. I am just thinking how our tastes or preferences in some things tend to change over time. I used to enjoy reading actual books growing up, although many of them were condensed versions, or had a variety of short stories. I mostly enjoyed mysteries. Even back then, it seems I either had a short attention span, lost interest easily in things, or maybe a little of each. Because starting maybe mid-teens, unless it was for a class assignment, I did not pick up a book, and even that was not entirely consistent. I think it wasn't until my mid-20s that I started reading again. During this time I was into paranormal like Dean Koontz and John Saul. I did enjoy reading for a while, then for some reason I just couldn't follow the storylines and just gave up on them. I am trying to remember how I got into audiobooks. I think the idea was kind of introduced to me maybe a year and a half ago. I was watching either a color and chat or was at someone's stream, and the subject of reading and audiobooks came up, and I thought I would try it out. At that time, funds were quite limited, so I tried some free audiobook app or site. I really didn't find anything there that grabbed me or kept my interest, so that lasted 2 weeks, and I gave up on the idea for a while until just before Christmas last year. And again, while watching one of my favorite color tubers, I was inspired to try audiobooks again. This time, since my financial situation had changed for the better, I went with an Audible subscription with Amazon and picked out one from IT Lucas. At first I thought I would like it since the storyline was based on immortals, but then I found it a bit dark for my taste and I was again considering giving up on the whole audiobook thing. I did take a mental step back and started being more patient when looking more into other authors and categories, and have been enjoying audiobooks about 6 months now. So, switching subjects. Considering I am running late with this video, I will probably be uploading this series on Saturday or Sundays. Lately, I am finding that it is taking about a week of recordings to make one video. As I have mentioned in earlier videos, I am not really a talker. Actually, it may be more like I am awkward at social conversation. I mean, I can sit here, turn the camera on and color something straight through for a half hour to an hour. But to talk that long in one sitting, does not come easily for me. I have considered doing an ASMR type coloring videos, or something with just music in the background. I would probably have the color names pop up in the videos like I have been doing. At the same time, maybe continuing with the color and chats can help with the whole conversation thing. So I think I may just do the ASMR or music only type videos as additional videos. Speaking of additional videos, this weekend I will be uploading my completed coloring pages for April and May. I will also be including which of my abandoned whips that I want to complete for June. I haven't decided yet if I will also include pages that I flagged for the June color alongs. I will be continuing this page into June. I am thinking for the next video, coloring the entire area inside the drapes including the area rug. I did order the Color It glitter gel pens. And I am thinking of trying them out on this picture next week. Most likely for details and embellishments. For now I am going to finish up these drapes before I call the video done. After I charge the phone and do some editing, this will be available on YouTube Saturday night. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and comment below. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, thanks for coming over. Bye now.